Hi, my name is Kaylee. I'm with Youth CoJam, and this is the second video in our Cybersecurity Escape Room series. Today, we'll be trying to see if we can spot the phishing email. So what is a phishing email? That sounds kind of funny and the word looks a little funny. A phishing email is an email that's sent by a scammer that's meant to take your information and put you at risk. At risk of what? Well, handling one of these emails incorrectly might mean that you or your family might lose some money, that the scammer might gain access to some of your private accounts. Potentially your computer could be at risk. And yeah, there are just a lot of different ways in which phishing emails can be dangerous. And so we want to be able to look out for them, spot them, and delete them and not mess with them anymore as soon as we're able to identify them. So how do I spot a phishing email? Well, there are a lot of different telltale signs. This is not an inclusive list, but just to get the wheels turning, and maybe you can think of some ways in addition to these that an email might look kind of fishy. So the email might be from someone that you don't know, or an email address that you don't recognize. It might claim that you won a contest that you didn't answer, like a vacation or plane tickets. Um, the email might threaten that something bad will happen if you don't do what the email says to do. It might ask for personal or private information or for money. Oftentimes, phishing emails will pressure you into responding quickly. They don't want you to fact check them or to ask an adult, but you definitely should. A phishing email might have an attachment that looks kind of suspicious and you're not really sure what it is. You should never open attachments that you don't recognize, that you're not expecting, or that just look funny. A phishing email will often contain typos or poor grammar. The sender's email address might look a little funny. So it might have a bunch of random numbers and letters, or it might not match who the person sending the email says that they are. In addition, if the email is coming from a business, it should have the business's contact information somewhere on the email and an unsubscribe option at the top. And if it doesn't have these things, then it might be somebody else pretending to be that company and sending you a phishing email. So here's an example. We've been talking about what to look for, what to do if you get one. Here's an example of what might be a phishing email. And if you look, there are a couple of things that might be a little bit off. Let's see if you can spot them. So starting from the top, I see that this email is from no reply company and a bunch of random numbers. Maybe this is legit, but that seems kind of funny to me. Most companies will have the name of their company in their email address, and this seems sort of vague and random. So this is a red flag for me. The subject, there's some unusual activity on my account. Let's read the body of the email. It says, we detected something unusual to use an application to sign into your Minecraft account. Well, that sentence has some grammar errors in it already, so we know that there might be an issue. Usually, if an email is from a company that's real, they'll proofread their emails and they'll have somebody who knows how to fix the grammar and proofread. Let's keep reading. This is an important message to notify you. Okay. Call this number before the end of the day to maintain your account safe. Well, for starters, the sentence also has some grammar errors. It doesn't quite make sense if you try to read it to yourself out loud. But then also, they want me to call this 1-800 number. And typically, that can be a red flag that it's a 1-800 number. If you're unsure, you can actually just type this phone number into Google, and oftentimes it will show you if it's associated with a company or not. So if I typed this number into Google and whoever owns Minecraft company came up, then I would know that, okay, maybe this is legit. But since this is a 1-800 number, it would probably belong to a private organization or a private person, an individual. And that would be another clue that maybe this is a fraudulent or phishing email. So they want me to call by the end of the day, and if I don't respond, my account may be terminated. Well, I see a typo here. They didn't catch that this I was capitalized, so that's another red flag. But then they're also, I see between these two sentences, trying to pressure me into responding and threatening to terminate my account, whatever that means. Typically, companies don't threaten you like that, real companies anyway. If you're unsure and you're concerned about your account, you should definitely ask an adult to look over the email, and or just two or three other people who might know a little bit more about fraud and phishing emails, to look over it and see, like, does this look fake or might this be legit? And if it is real, then they can help you to take care of it. But the fact that they're trying to pressure me into calling by the end of the day and threatening me gives me a signal in my head that maybe this is a phishing email. Let's see, they've got today's date and they have this big ID number. I'm not really sure what that's for. And then it says, "Sincerely, the Microsoft team." I think that's one of the biggest red flags here. So in the body of my email, they said that this is about my Minecraft account, but down here, they've got the signature of the Microsoft team, which is not at all tied to Minecraft, and neither of those have anything to do with this random email up here. So it looks like somebody just kind of copied and pasted a lot of official looking things in order to try to trick somebody who wasn't reading it very carefully. Reading it carefully is key to spotting a phishing email. So let's go look at another one. Here's another one from jenrocks89@gmail.com. And maybe when I read this, I think, oh, I have a friend named Jen. It looks like it's from her, but let's keep reading. So Jen, my friend, potentially, sent her email to her entire email address book, asking them to please help. Unless this is an invitation to a party or something, most people don't send things to their entire address book, so this is already a red flag. I don't know why Jen would be asking everyone in her email address book for help. So let's go on and read the body of the email. She says, "I'm still on vacation, but something really bad happened. Someone stole my backpack. It had my wallet, phone, and laptop in it. Oh my gosh, that sounds awful. Let's see. I have nothing to eat and I really need you to send me money." The fact that I'm being asked for money here puts up a red flag. It's possible that my friend Jen really does need money, but I should be a little bit more cautious as I continue to read forward. So then she says, "I don't have a bank account, but maybe I could borrow your credit card? Just send me the number and I promise I'll pay you back as soon as I get home. You're the best." All right, so you should never, ever, ever, for those of you who have credit cards or any sensitive information like that, you should never email your credit card number. That's just a bad idea. Even if this was for my friend Jen, it's possible that a hacker could intercept this email and steal my credit card information and buy lots of stuff online that's going to them, but that I have to pay for. I realize that not all of you guys may have credit cards, but this goes for any sort of information that identifies you or your money or your property. So probably not. I don't think I'm going to be sending Jen, in quotes, I don't know if this is actually Jen, my credit card information. If she really needs help, then I'm going to figure something else out. But sending sensitive information via email is probably not the best idea. And here's another red flag that's probably cementing that this is not from Jen. So Jen says it had my wallet, phone, and laptop in it when she's talking about the backpack that was stolen. But this message was sent from an iPhone. So either what I'm thinking is that someone just made up this email pretending to be my friend Jen and sent it from an iPhone. And so this little tag that Apple adds down here is kind of incriminating that the phone wasn't stolen because this email is coming from a phone. So there are a lot of things wrong with this email that clue me in that this is probably a phishing email trying to steal my information, and that I should not reply and definitely not send my credit card number. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you can start to have some conversations with family or friends about online safety, and specifically for today's video, phishing emails and what to look out for, what to be careful for. If you really enjoyed this video, you should definitely come to our Bits and Bytes live session next Monday. We'll be doing some more cybersecurity know-how type of stuff. And if you really enjoyed this phishing email day of learning, there is something called PBS Cyber Labs, which has this game that's sort of centered around cybersecurity. And that's where some of the information for our content today came from. So thank you all again for